So we've got to stay focused on the Federal Reserve, okay? And I feel like that's probably the most radical speech I could ever engage in, because these are the people that are willing to do whatever it takes to get their way. So when they hear a guy like me, by chance anybody related to the Federal Reserve hears these words, that's toxic. That stings their ears. They don't want to hear, stay focused and, descend on one of these, the most powerful Federal Reserve branch in the country as one. Understanding what's at stake here. Understanding that, you want an end to the poverty, because I posted a video recently here in Chico, California, where, the garbage men, although they all know this has happened before, this is not the first time that they find homeless people sleeping in dumpsters for shelter. Okay, this is progress in America in the 21st century. This is what we call a civilization. Okay, and nothing could be further from the truth. This is anti-progress. This is devilish progress. It is indicative of the system and the people running the system, the lovers of death. We are dispensable, disposable. This is what they're trying to drill home to us. This is the most pernicious, worst kind of PSD they could lay on us. Okay, this is what they revel in. These are horrible, horrible people. They love their lives in this world. Okay. They hate humanity, though. Remember, they serve a dark master. So if you want an end to the problems, all these unnecessary social ills we're all facing, remember, the only way you're going to do it is by getting control. We, the people, gaining control of the currency, the issuance of currency, the money printing, and our financial destiny. Okay, that's it. Other than that, we've got nothing else, to do but wait for the return of Jesus. Okay, so everybody that's out there saying, well, the Republicans, the Democrats, this presidential candidate, that presidential, and they don't even understand. And I'm saying, I know that Rand Paul understands. He's got the courage to stand in these people's faces. He knows what's at stake. He's not me. He's not a nobody. He's a high-ranking politician. Okay, so the Federal Reserve, I'm safe. I can say what I want. I mean, they could kill me. I don't know. They might find some sneaky way just because they hate me so much for speaking the truth and stinging their ears. But you know what? I know what I'm talking about. I'm speaking to you the truth. You want an end to the dubious war and all its related horrors, okay? The maimings, the killing, the brain damage, the loss of limbs, all what the doctors and the medical profession has to go through in contending with these wars. How horrible is that? The starvation in Syria, what's causing these problems? This is horrible. I am not okay. I don't want to be okay with this world. But these people revel in it. They love it, these people, these evil people at the top. Remember who they are, this New World Order cabal and all the minions associated with it. These are the people that are controlling our currency and the sycophantic minions that go along with it. They just say, you know what, this is the master I'm trusting in, the money printing master, and that's it. Your conscience, your constitution are out the window, brother, because you know what? They don't pay my rent. They don't pay my bills. They are not my way out of insecurity. They're not my way out of fear. I know how it is. It's dollars and cents, dude. Get a life. Have some common sense. Be practical. Be pragmatic. Invest in the beast system. Trust in the beast system. Have faith in the beast system. And I say no, 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 no. And everybody else out there with a grain of integrity needs to do the same thing. You want an end to the debt, the destruction of our currency? That's what these people do. You know that. They destroy our currency. So it's a double whammy. It's not just your taxes are going up. Just lump your taxes in with the cost of living. It's the cost of living is a tax, okay? And when the government is complicit and actually facilitating the market manipulation of real estate, for example, which leads to chain reaction inflation, because if you manipulate upwards the price of your housing costs, an aspect of your survival you can't get away from and still survive, it's something we all need, okay, to survive, then it causes this chain reaction inflation across the board. One thing leads to another. Nothing happens in a vacuum. It's all cause and effect. Okay, so that's the way this thing works. They know what they're doing, but they don't have an escape plan except to say, screw you. Yes, it's all true. We're a fascist group of genocidal thugs and murderers and freaks, and we hate humanity. We hate all that's good. We don't want to see social economic justice on the earth. We don't want to see an end to poverty. We want more poverty. We don't want to see an end to all the crimes being committed because of financial desperation. We want to see them increase. We want you to be turned against each other. We want you to be divided and to believe your enemy is a Democrat or your enemy is a Republican or your enemy is a conservative, your enemy is a liberal, your enemy is a Muslim, your enemy is a Jew, your enemy is a Christian, your enemy is anybody but yourself, right? Never just stop and say, God, help me here. Help me to see that, like it's so commonly said, we are our own worst enemies, that at the end of the day, the ball is always in our court. It's always our choice. We can't choose whether somebody loves us or not, but we can choose how we feel about them, what our will is for them. And we can be very bold and outspoken, like it's written, that those who love God are that way. They're not bold. He has given us a spirit not of timidity, but of boldness and a sound mind. So when I hear these outspoken people like Louis Farrakhan, which Alex Jones did a big interview with him recently, and that was released this past week. But, these people like Alex Jones and all these people, the Max Kaisers out there, the outspoken ones, the honest economists out there with integrity. Because remember, it all comes down to economy, the money. This is the root of the problem. And until you understand that, nothing else is going to go away. All the abortions, all the prostitution, all the pornography, everything, the debt. Remember, that is huge. That is a huge way how they just lead us around by the nose. They don't want us free, okay? They want us, what they've rendered us into is a sniveling, weak, frightened, robotic, narcissistic bunch of wankers, okay? That's what they've done, because that's what they are. And you can see wankers as a metaphor or literal, okay? But it's all part and parcel, because they also have injected this idea in our society that we're overpopulated. So yes, we are going to belittle humanity, and we do want to get rid of you, and whatever measures of birth control we can muster up, we're going to do it. Whether it offends your moralities, your sense of decency or not, we're going to put porn out there. We're going to put child porn out there. All this stuff you're going to find on the internet, and it's all okay. And we're going to teach kids, purportedly, I hear from Alex Jones, they're teaching 5-year-old kids how to touch themselves. I mean, come on, give me a break. Mother Nature takes care of those things. Believe me, okay? Believe me. It's not, even teenage boys, I mean, they're going to have what God, the function is going to exist through nocturnal emissions. It's going to come out. You don't need to be educated in this way. This is a way they're promulgating. They're promoting this idea that, you should go out there and just, you don't need a wife, you don't need a husband, you can satisfy yourself even better, just touch yourself, okay? This is it. Just be an island unto yourself. You don't need human. The earth's overpopulated. You might have an incident, and you're going to bring another human being into this world. Well, you can't even afford it. That's what they do. See, the impoverishment works to that benefit too. I can't speak for third world cultures, because from what I understand is that in some cultures of the world, when you've got a lot of poverty, they tend to populate more. I mean, basically, they've got nothing else to do with their time, or they think, well, one of these kids I have is going to be a go-getter and is going to take care of the family. Whatever their thinking is, that's not the Western way of thought. In America, our culture is, look, if you can't afford to have a kid, don't have one. I watched Judge Millian in the People's Court. I hear her say this over and over. People that can't afford to have kids should not have kids. And you know what? I just want to flip the bird at the system. Okay, anybody with that attitude, I say, you know what? Get a life. Okay, I'm an egalitarian. I'm free. In my heart and mind, I know I get to go to a place I'm going to be worthy and found deserving of going to a world where I'm free, because I'm willing that everybody else, this is what I want, this is what I know is my only way to be happy, and I'm trying to speak to everybody, help them to understand this is what I've discovered by tuning into the Spirit of God. Not that I'm any better or closer to God. We all have equal access because we're equally beloved. We are equal, and so we've got to embrace that equality and offer it to everybody. We want everybody to be prosperous. You want nice things? So does he, so does she. We all do. And that's the way you'll be able to enjoy your nice stuff, is if you know, look, not everybody wants to live in a big fancy mansion. It's true. People like cozy, believe me. Okay, so that's what you've got to just embrace, that reality. That's the truth. That we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. The human being is interconnected. We love creature comfort. We love a lot of the same stuff. You know, and if you like nice trinkets and knickknacks, luxury items, you want a nice boat, whatever, we could share a lot of this stuff. It's not like we got to go fill the harbor with cigarette boats and yachts, and we got to fill the airport tarmacs with people's private jets. Look, a lot of this stuff, it's going to get used so seldom that we can share stuff, just like the library, checking out a book. Well, if it's a popular book, well, yeah, okay, they get 10 or 15 or 20 copies, whatever it be for that period of time. Well, it's a hit. And you understand how this thing works, okay? We could have a central site. You don't want to store your watches at your house. You say, you know what, hey, somebody else could be using these, and I might find one I like better. And if this is a popular model, then look, everybody can have one at the same time, like the library idea, okay, and extend that. This is what we can have in our society. So housing can be an entitlement, a human right, a need, and we work together. I know in my last video I mentioned that I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for other people, and I really mean that, and that's very true in a very tangible way, and I'd like to explain that. What I mean is not like I'm entitled and people have just been giving me stuff because I've been out there with my hand out and begging. No, of course I did it the way other people do it. I go out and I earn money, and that's the way people do give you money sometimes. That's fine. But the point is that I don't expect it like most people, and I've gone out and I've earned the money and traded the money, this thing of great power, this money. It'll get me any services, any commodities I want with this, little piece of magic paper. With no intrinsic value, no inherent value. It boggles the mind. I mean, we are so imbued, embedded with this system, this monetary-based unreality, that we don't even see how much time we spend thinking about it. Giving it our affections and our attention and striving to have more of it, because we see it as a good thing, prosperity. That's the money, is the prosperity. We don't realize it's really the stuff. It's things like our sense of security and freedom. And these things, two things, go hand in hand. You can't feel free if you're afraid of anybody or anything. You can't be beholden to some man for some illegitimate reason that tells you, look, you owe your cost of living to me. So from birth, from a very young age, we begin to be inculcated. And our parents have been inculcated, indoctrinated into trusting in this system, believing in it, having faith in it, just, somehow make sense of it. Work within the system. Don't rock the boat. Have common sense. Be pragmatic. Be practical. Go along to get along. And then a clown like me and other people like me, these idealists, tell you, go the other way. No, the other way, it's okay, because this realm is temporary. God's plans on giving you a new, better body, a vastly better body, one that can't be threatened, one that is imperishable, as the description goes. And he plans on renewing this earth down to the smallest detail. So he invites you to use your imagination. What does that mean? Does that mean no more punishing heat? Yes. Does that mean no more bitter, mean, freezing cold? Yes. Does that mean no more accidents because gravity and inertia, momentum are deadly forces? Yes. Does that mean no more diseases? Yes. Does that mean my atomic structure is so profoundly improved that a bullet can't hurt me? Yes, it means everything like that. That's exactly what it means, and more. That's just a few off the top of my head. But everybody's got their own imagination. No more stinging insects? Right. Exactly. An end to all that stuff. Because all these things, anything that's not good is not God's creation. It's all part of the curse. It's what befell humanity at the fall, at the original sin. This is it. It got in our DNA. And likely what this was is what represents this forbidden fruit being, the apple. Adam and Eve ate the apple. was this inbreeding. And that's how we'd explain the scientific idea that it's in our DNA and that it's taking this long period of time to play itself out. But it is written that God in the twinkling of an eye will change that. So there'll be a generation, literally, that will never taste the first death. And this is where the whole idea of this, what do they call the, that's not, the word isn't in the Bible, but I always forget this word. But, this idea that the not the resurrection, because that's what's written, that the dead will be resurrected in Christ. In fact, they'll be resurrected before this change takes place for the righteous. But the righteous and meek follow closely, and these are the ones that never taste the first death. The rapture, that's the term I'm trying